Hi everyone, Andy here from the Opal project. Today we've got this bit of lightning rage seam opal from the shipyards area of Groen. Spectacular colours, very thin, a whole heap of sand on the back of it. We're going to start by taking the sand off and see what we're left with. Hopefully it gets a bit thicker in the middle. So obviously it's a bit of a disappointment when it cracks like that. Thing is, it probably would have actually cracked if I'd made a stone out of that part, so not a big deal. Just carry on, do the best we can. So this big piece here is part of a parcel that I bought, just one stone. It was about $250 for one stone. It's got amazing colours. Unfortunately, when I was taking the back off it, it chipped off. It's a bit annoying because it's quite a thick bit. Most of it is quite thin. But there's a couple of slightly thicker bits. Doesn't really focus very well, will it? Come on. So there you can see slightly thicker. So what I've thought, there's also some chips that would come out of it previously before I got hold of it, chipped off the surface. So to get the most out of the stone, there's no point in trying to make a one solid big stone out of it, it's far too thin. But I should be able to make a few smaller stones out of it with pretty cool colours. So I've drawn some rough shapes on there. I'm thinking I'll cut it, slice it down here, and slice it up here. And obviously I'll make the stones as big as possible, but these were just an idea, just to get the nicest colour out of each of them. Obviously I'll see what happens with this end one, it's not that colourful there. But I'll start by slicing up here and here, and hopefully it doesn't shatter anymore. It seems to be very brittle stuff, but the colours are amazing, so let's see how we go. Remember, hit the like and subscribe button if you want to see more. Obviously not ideal, another bit shattered off there. Luckily, a bit with not too much colour on it. As I'm chopping this stone up, I notice it's a bit thicker than what I thought it was. So I might have to revise my plans on how I actually cut it. It's funny with opal, you have all these ideas at the start of how you're going to do it, but it's only when you start cutting the stone you see, okay, it's a bit different. So looking at these pieces now, this It's actually thicker than I thought it was going to be. Let's move that light. You can see on the side there it's not too bad. It's probably, I don't know what, 3 mils thick. Same on that side, so that's probably doable to make that into one nice stone. And there, this bit here has no colour really. Oh, there's a tiny bit up there. Very, very thin though. I might still chop that bit off, that thin bit, and then I can even just try and make that into maybe a doublet or something. It's too thin, I think, for a natural stone, but see how we go. This bit here, kind of thin on one side, but then it really thickens up on this side here. You can see the 2 colour bars, the main one at the top there. But look at the colours, amazing. Beautiful, crystal opal. And then this one, again, it's quite thick on that side, but it tapers off real quick. You can see there the kind of profile of it. But yeah, nice sort of flashy colours in there. So yeah, I might just try and just slice this real thin. I don't want to waste any stone, but it's nice and thick there. But then that bit there is not thick. That's a weird shape to make a stone. Get rid of them 2 marks. All the best plans before you cut it, and then when you start chopping, these plans change. You're very thin at the end there. But I want to try and save as much opal as possible. And that'll make a beautiful oval shaped gem there, without wasting too much. A little bit in this corner. It's a bit of a sand spot there. Am I worrying too much about it? Well, why not a rub, and I'm going to take back all that stuff because there's no colour in that there. So I'll rub this back and shape it a little bit and try and preserve as much colour as possible on there. So here we go. Kind of letting the stone tell me what it wants me to do with it here. God, that colour, amazing. I haven't cut too many stones with this sort of real bright flashy colour, so it does make me a little bit nervous because I know it's an expensive stone, and I know all opal is super rare, so it makes me even more nervous cutting it. I think sometimes with opal cutting, you've just got to go with what your gut tells you to do. You can think and think and think about it, but at the end of the day, you've got to cut as best a stone as you possibly can out of it. I've chopped this end bit off it, there's no colour in it. Kind of little sand spots there, I'm just gonna use the wheel to get rid of them. Again, trying to keep as much colour as we can and make it into a desirable shape if possible. So on the edge of this, there's them little chips that were there before I got the stone. The chips have no colour, they've gone right through the colour bar, so I'm trying to get little sand spots out. Yeah, you can see the colour doesn't really go right to the edge on that bit there, taking it back a little bit. Taking it back a bit more, nervous. Thinking about how to make this into a more desirable shape and not lose too much. If I chop this little triangle corner off it there, I'll get a nice kind of decent shaped gem. Do something with that triangle after. Just tidy this up a little bit, make it into a nicer shape. Again, trying to keep as much colour as we can. Onto this last piece here. It goes real thin up to one edge of it there. Taking off all the opal with not much colour in it. This little triangle has turned into quite an interesting piece. As I rub away, I can see that one half of it has a colour on the surface on the left hand side. The right hand side has this colour bar underneath, and I'm seeing these amazing flashes coming out. I'm going to put this aside, I think. I'll come back to it later once I've had a think about it. Another little off-cut chip here. Trying to see if there's anything I can do with it. The colour is not as vivid as in the other pieces, but still some nice reds and oranges in there. This iPhone camera really doesn't do the colours justice. I have to do something about that. Get a better camera. Chatting to the new Opal cutter, and he was saying that the Mi 11 is a phone that he uses, and the colours are much better, much more preserved, so I have to look into that. There are greens and reds there. Here's another chip. I think this is the one that initially broke off right at the start. Just going to see if there's anything I can do with this. The colour bar is very, very thin on it, and the piece of opal is very thin as well, so I think this one will more than likely go into my doublet jar. I'll stick a bit of black porch to the back of it at some point and make a nice looking opal out of that at a later stage. Another little triangle offcut of it here. Again, I'm trying to kind of make the most out of all this opal. So I'll just try and cut this as best I can. Coming back to this bit, some real nice sort of reds and oranges appearing in this half. Then nothing on that half really. You can see just the start of a green and blue, really bright green and blue bar. Looking on the side, that's that bright green and blue bar down there. It runs underneath. And if I sacrifice this and take it right down, the stone's going to be too thin. Far too thin for a solid opal. And I could make it a doublet, but what a waste. What a waste to make a solid opal with these amazing colours into a doublet. So what I'm thinking is, if I slice down here, again, slice this stone to bits. If I slice it down here, I'm going to get a nice bright red gem, not much of a dome on it, but out of that bit there. And then this bit here, I can take it down to that bar, and who knows what's going to happen. Let's do that and we'll see. So I've chopped that opal. Didn't chop it as cleanly as I probably could have. We'll get a nice little gem out of that piece there. Beautiful colours. And then this one, you can just start to see that colour bar there. If you look on the side, the flash down there, see that? So let's take this top bit off and just see what it reveals down there. It's going to be thin whatever it is, but the colours are so cool. Let's just see what we get. So with that big piece, got some pretty nice little stones. Well, them two big ones are the winners though, look at them. Wow. Wowee. This one here, I'm probably going to put that in my doublet collection. It's very thin. Everything else though can be put on a dopstick and cut into a nicer stone. This one here is very thin on colour, but we'll see what happens. Maybe it'll come to something, if not, no big deal. But yeah, not bad. $250 stone, I think it was. Yeah, let's see what they turn into at the end. I reckon definitely made my money back on that one, that's for sure. But yep, let's see how we go. the dopstick. Time to shape them up properly, get rid of any sand spots, and then give them a polish. Here goes. Start with the smallest one, I think. Work my way up. I'm using the 600 grit diamond wheel here. I'm just using it just to kind of try and shape it a little bit better, take any really sharp edges off it. The next wheels I'm going to use are soft wheels, and if you have sharp edges it will actually just rip the diamonds out of the soft coating that's on them, so it's important just to try and shape them a little bit. This one looks a bit like a wedge of cheese. Lovely wedge of opal cheese. I don't think I'd like to eat this cheese though, it's a bit crunchy. Bit of a waste too. The colours. And these are the two bigger bits I've got. Still really quite nervous at this point. You really don't want to take away any more colour than you absolutely have to. And the colour bar is not the thickest on these stones either, so you want to be careful that when you're kind of creating a dome on it, you're not creating so much of a dome that you rub right through the colour and show potch on the outside. So I'm taking my time with these. I don't want to mess them up. Keep stopping to admire that colour on these stones. It's hard not to get distracted by it. Now this is the biggest piece out of them all, and it actually has a sand spot against the wheel just now. It's really hard to see, but it's an annoying little sand spot that goes almost right the way through the stone. So I'm having to grind it back a fair way just to get that sand spot out. And it's a bit of a weird shape too. I'm actually going to shape this one after I've done all this. I'll reshape it to be more of a kind of oval shape. You'll see that at the finished part of the video. Spectacular colours though. Flashes of red and orange and blue and green. Just about every colour. So this is onto the 600 soft wheel. It's a 600 Nova wheel. It's got like a kind of foam backing to it, and then the diamonds are impregnated into the outer layer. And it just really helps you get nicer sort of rounded edges. So here's the stones finished and all polished up. I use serum oxide. My camera doesn't reach to the part of the machine that has the serum oxide pad on it, but these are some of the stones on my little solar wheel as it turns. Look at the colours, amazing. You can see that bigger stone there I reshaped into more of an oval one, as I spoke about before. And all the smaller stones there. One of them has a slight imperfection on my wedge of cheese. On the edge, I need to put that back in the dopstick and get it out. And one of them has a very slight crack going through it. That one in the middle, you can't really see it too well here, but it's a ever so slight crack on the surface. But still pretty spectacular. Some of the nicest colours I've ever cut. So this stone here, 7.8 carats. I'm not very good at valuing stones right now, but I reckon for this one it's got to be about $100, $150 per carat. For them bright flashes that are in it. Just the amount of colours that are in it. Just about every colour in the rainbow there. And this smaller one here, it's got to be worth $150 a carat for sure. Colours like that. Absolutely amazing. Let me know in the comments section what you think it's worth per carat. The experts out there can maybe let me know.